F&S Network. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the content. Can I rap real quick? Can I rap? On the path to being the best power in the airwaves, changing the way we break it down the game. Wide body on the highway, we not in one lane, no nonsense. Logic with every topic. The talk too real, the party we not invited.
Well, welcome back to the F&S Podcast. This is Matt.
What's happening, Josh?
Today he's finna tackle the top 100. I'm just here to ask questions and gain knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, first, let's just say this is not in order of who really is the best player. Clearly, when you look at the order, it's not that.
Right.
And then it's more so about who had the best statistical years along with team success paired with it. Because there's a whole lot of head scratching players that could be above certain players that I feel are better, but it doesn't mean that they're in bad spots, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean that they're in bad spots.
Okay.
But they finished this list fairly recently, and when they first started doing this list, it was more so a thing. Like, it was more so something that everybody was reacting to on social medias and stuff like that. Even the players was reacting to it on social medias. This was this was on television, like as segments and stuff like that.
Well, I forgot who had an issue, but they had an issue with Aaron Rodgers being there. You know what I'm saying? On the list.
Right. Which is similar to something that was done in the past with this list.
Yeah.
So we gonna tackle it all. I mean, well, we gonna tackle what we feel. At least I should say that. We gonna tackle what we feel. To just go down the list to start from the back end. These are going to be the players that potentially could be working their way up. Some of these players are like old veterans that are still showing that they got something left, and they can still play. But for the most part, they're not bad spots for these guys, at least for the veterans, because they're not as dominant as they used to be.
Right.
And then for the younger players that are making this list, these are the guys that, you know, they showing you a little something and you waiting for them to turn that corner to reach the next level in their status.
Right.
So, let's just go for the first
top down. Okay.
Well, let's just go for the first one that jumps out at us that don't make any sense.
Okay. Well, the first one got to be Aaron Rodgers, right?
Right. The Aaron Rodgers.
He shouldn't even be sniffing the list.
He shouldn't be on the list. Why he made the list, I understand what they saying. Because they saying that his lack of presence is so impactful. You know, that if he was there, they would have been like a Super Bowl contender or something like that. That's pretty much what they saying.
So if they was super cold like that, shouldn't they just be able to place a game manager in there and they should still have somewhat of a successful season?
Well, that's the thing. They don't have one on the roster.
Who's their backup?
Their backup was what's his name? He no longer on the team anymore. But I have to look at the dang on name because the name's not coming to my head right now.
They were saying some things about him in the media. I remember that he don't make the greatest decisions in the world. Wherever that was.
He wasn't that good. He was the number 2 quarterback in that Trevor Lawrence draft. Which is
the number 2 in the first round.
Yeah, he was the number 2 player coming after Trevor Lawrence to do that, and the Jets drafted him, and he doesn't look like he's gonna have a long NFL career. At least starting.
Okay.
At least starting, he don't look like he's gonna have a long NFL career. I forget what his name is right now at the moment, but he was essentially a failure because had he would have panned out to be anything, the need for bringing in Aaron Rodgers would have never been there.
Do you think they should have did that in the first place?
To get Aaron Rodgers over
the
him?
Jets? No, I'm just saying, do you think they should have? How much they pay him?
Who, Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
I gotta look up his contract, but you know, it ain't gonna be nothing cheap, but like that's the price that teams are willing to pay if it means they can win a Super Bowl.
Would you do that for quarterback at his age?
Yeah. In this era? Yeah. I mean, you know, because quarterbacks are so protected now, they last longer. It's not unusual for quarterbacks to play into their late 30s, some even in their early 40s, and still be starting.
Would you think about putting him on the trading block with that after that torn Achilles?
No, not right now. I wouldn't, just because I need to have an answer after that. If I don't have nobody else there, I need to keep him here. I mean, because it's going to be a rerun of the same story. They're going to be solely reliant on his presence there.
Is that wise?
It's never wise to be solely reliant on one player. Like you should always have a backup. You should always feel good about a backup quarterback. Matter of fact, funny enough, I came across this the other day, but the Jets was one of the few teams in the past. This was back when they had Keyshawn Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
But they quarterback injuries got so severe, they put they punter in at quarterback, and he got busy.
Hey, did he end up playing quarterback for another team after that, or was that just a one and done thing?
I think that was just a one and done thing, because that was the only time I ever heard about it. I'm gonna actually look it up again, and I'm gonna send it to you. But the whole point is, it's always good to have some sort of insurance policy just in case of your first string quarterback getting hurt, not looking good, things getting shaky in the locker room, whatever. Like, you need to have a backup. Not that this guy is threatening to take the starting job, but this guy is there for that reason. They call it a backup for a reason. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And quarterbacks take a whole lot of hits that they ain't ready for, that they ain't bracing for. So
right.
you talking about, you know, one, if you can't protect the quarterback, you definitely need to have a backup. I think they got Tyrod Taylor there backing up now.
Didn't the Jets have a bad O-line?
They did.
And you bring in a 40-year-old quarterback? That doesn't make sense.
Well, he's not a statue.
Aaron Rodgers,
quarterback. No,
he can't scramble the same.
No, but it's not about him scrambling. It's about him being able to move around in the pocket.
And it's not like he's Ben Roethlisberger either, with size that can take hits.
No. But I mean, like, even quarterbacks that size, they have an expiration date too. So
no, I feel you. I'm just saying though, you know. But whatever, he shouldn't be on the list. I don't think so. But whatever.
Right. I mean, there was enough players that had good enough years that they could have took that spot. The first one that comes to my mind, because I'm a Jaguar fan, I'm thinking about Travis Etienne, the running back.
Right.
He could easily be on the back end of this list. The receiver for Houston, can't remember his name right now. I don't know why I can't, but he was the rookie, the deep threat that caught a lot of passes.
Texans?
Yeah, Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna have that roster pulled up for a second, so I ain't gonna be doing this to the listeners wondering.
Stephon Diggs?
No, not Diggs. He was there last year. Stephon Diggs just got there this year.
Tank Dell?
Tank Dell.
Okay.
Tank Dell is the reason. Is another player that you can easily make an argument that should be on this list.
Now, you said this was done by the players, right?
I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure right now, but I believe it is, because at least that's the way they used to do it. Now, could it have changed? Of course it could have changed, but you know, and that could be the reason why Aaron Rodgers made the list, because they should know better than that. Yeah, but this happened before because they did it with Peyton Manning when he was on Denver. I think it was when he had that neck injury going on and stuff like that. He still made the list and he didn't play. So it was so it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, now you contradicting yourself because the list is called top 100 of this certain year and you putting somebody in there that didn't play.
Yeah, there's no excuse for me. I'm sorry. No excuse.
Exactly.
Even if the reason of, oh, well, his impact, you see his impact, he didn't play, dog. Right. Says about production. So I mean, I can't go with that.
Right. So I mean, yeah, that's the first one that can have problems with. The second one, this isn't really so much of I guess you can say this is more so a thing of we all know he's better than this player, but he's behind him. Like the Los Angeles running back Karen Williams is ranked 78. While Saquon Barkley is sitting back at 86.
So I just asked you about that off the
right.
And this the same guy that's, compared to Barry Sanders.
For real.
Which to me, I don't see it, but all right. But I just don't see it. I don't. But salute though. You know what I mean? But
well, you know what? I mean, well, this goes back to some fundamental things of the different styles of play in the eras. It's kind of like basketball. You know how they used to dump it down and big man used to be able to get. Back in them days, the fullback position had high value because the fullback took on the first threat to tackling the running back.
Yeah.
In this era, the fullback position is kind of like almost non-existent when you look across the league. It's a whole bunch of single back formations, shotgun formations. I mean, they starting to try to make it like it's the NFL game is looking more and more like college.
Well, to me, a fullback, to me personally, is like an extra blocker out there. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah. And they can, you know what I'm saying, punish that thing up the middle. I mean, that's how I would use the fullback, but I mean,
I mean, when you look at history of the most historic running backs, a lot of them have a fullback to be thankful for a lot of their success. Yeah. Like Emmitt Smith, the leading rusher in all of NFL history, had Gus Johnson in front of him.
Yeah, Gus Johnson wasn't to play with either.
Yeah. LaDainian Tomlinson, who was one of the favorites of his era. Lorenzo Neal. You know what I'm saying? Jacksonville, Fred Taylor had Greg Jones. Before him, Chris Fuamata-Fala, if I'm saying his name right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fullback position was more consistent in the NFL. Now it's not. And so players, running backs have to make an extra person miss to a degree.
See, I don't even mean to drift because I heard the name Emmitt Smith. Not a big fan. What's your thoughts on Emmitt Smith?
He's not the most talented, but he was fortunate to play behind one of the most dominant offensive lines, one of the most dominant fullbacks. Because
this dude goes up the middle a lot. Like, you know, just right the middle. I don't see nothing. When I watched Emmitt Smith.
I mean, anybody that watches that knows that he's not the best skill-wise. Like, for me, it's Sweetness, Barry Sanders, as far as their skill plus the production that they brought to the table, them.
Is Adrian Peterson up there?
Adrian Peterson is good. He's up there. The only problem that I have with Adrian Peterson is he has a fumble issue.
Is he not better than Emmitt Smith to you?
Yeah, he's better than Emmitt to me.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But my only thing with Adrian Peterson is that he fumbled the ball a lot.
Yeah. He didn't.
He fumbled the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Like he now, given Adrian Peterson, he only had that 1 year when he had elite, I guess you can call it, quarterback passing attack paired with his abilities. because that was that Brett Favre year.
When he was with the Vikings?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was that Brett Favre year.
Hey, man, they almost went to the Super Bowl, dog.
They almost did.
Dog,
they almost did. They lost to the Saints. But they almost did. They almost did. Funny enough, the game that they lost to the Saints, Adrian Peterson fumbled the ball 3 times.
You got somebody who throw interceptions a lot and somebody who fumbles a lot.
But which one is easier to do? Or which one is harder to do, should I say?
What you mean? Fumble or throw interceptions?
Yeah.
Let me think here.
It's because it's to me, it's way easier to throw an interception than it is to fumble the football, because regardless to what, you are taught as a running back to hold that ball tight regardless to what happens. You're not supposed to let that thing go.
No, you're right. You're right. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not about to defend that because you're not supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Adrian Peterson in that NFC Championship game against the Saints, he fumbled the ball 3 times.
Ugh.
He fumbled the ball 3 times. Now, he didn't lose every single fumble, but he dropped it. It hit the grass 3 times.
Now, is this a case of him not being able to hold the ball, or is it tackling technique?
For him, I don't know exactly really what it is, because this is a problem that, part of it is him holding the ball, I would say, which is funny because they always said that Adrian Peterson had one of those like
crazy grips, you know what I'm saying?
Like handshake and stuff like that. So he's got to be holding the ball wrong, or maybe because players do this. When they feel like they in space, they'll start getting like lollygaggy with the ball, not as secure with it and stuff like that. And a lot of the times when you do that, all it takes is one defender just like hitting your elbow the wrong way or swiping down, whatnot, putting a helmet to the ball, and you fumble.
That's what I was about to say, that helmet to the ball situation. I see that a lot. It's kind of hard to hold on to the ball if somebody ramming their helmet there.
Well, that's why that's why when you go in traffic, you're supposed to have both arms wrapped around the ball.
Yeah. You're
supposed to have both arms wrapped around the ball. But for whatever reason, that was a problem with Adrian Peterson. So
you like you were saying, my man's Kyren Williams.
Yeah, Kyren Williams.
He's higher than Saquon.
He's higher than Saquon. And that to me is just because he played for a team that made the playoffs.
Is his numbers better than Saquon past year? Because you said it's production.
Right. Let me pull that up, because I seen Saquon had he wasn't 1,000-yard rusher this past year. He had like 900 and something. And yeah, Kyren Williams, he was a 1,100-yard rusher.
So that makes sense.
So yeah, it's once again, this goes back to he's up there above him because he had a better year.
It looks like better player. Do they do this every year?
Yeah, they do this every year.
So because I'm looking on, if you go to the right side, it shows how many slots they went down and up. So
right, and if you go all the way over, it'll show their numbers.
Yep. So Kyren, he wasn't even on the list last year. Looked like.
Well, he was a rookie this year.
Right. Okay. And then my man's for Saquon, he was number 55.
Right. Because the year before, that was when the Giants made the playoffs. And that was Saquon really was the lifeblood of the Giants offense. And he got disrespected by the Giants, if you ask me, but now he's went to Philly. I fully expect him, if he stays healthy, I fully expect him to climb right back to the top.
He only had 8 rushing touchdowns last year.
Well, think about it. How bad is the Giants' offensive line? Paired with how bad is the Giants' quarterback situation?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Paired with not having the fullback.
I seen a phone call. Was it to Saquon Barkley? Yeah. My man was sitting there talking to him like,
right.
Was that him he was talking to when he was there telling him it seemed like he knew he wasn't going to come back? You know what I mean? But he was talking to him in a sense like, Well,
the dumb thing with that was he was sitting there telling him, he was like, yeah, we're gonna let you test free agency, but are you gonna can you give us your word that you're gonna give us a chance to match whatever it is?
Man, that man knew he wasn't coming back, bro. He knew that.
But you seen I think it was the owner of the Giants. He was hot. He was hot that they let go of Saquon. And not that they just let go of Saquon, but he goes to the division rival.
Yeah, the Eagles are already cold.
Right. Yeah.
Man.
So
that's the Giants. Whew, that phone call was horrible. I'm like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm saying, like,
right.
I wouldn't have told him that, but okay.
Yeah, it just goes to show how much the running back position has got devalued.
How would have handled that situation if you was the Giants, Josh?
Oh, I'm keeping my best players. Regardless of what position they play, I'm keeping my best players. I'm not just going to let my best players walk out the building. No, I'm not doing that. Because Saquon is not being compared to Barry Sanders for no reason. He has that elusiveness in his game. And that short area shiftiness, he has that in his game. And in a straight line distance, he's faster than Barry Sanders.
Well, Barry Sanders wasn't the fastest.
Right. So what I'm saying is he pretty much was in a very Barry Sanders like situation.
So what type of year you think he having with Philly this year? Are they Super Bowl contenders?
They could be, man, because they still got a lot of that roster together. I mean, think about it. That roster has elite wide receiver talent, top tier tight end talent. A whole lot of people feel a certain way about Jalen Hurts. Me personally, I don't view him as a top tier quarterback, but he is a good quarterback that you don't need to be super elite with that team. You got.
So your game manager.
Yeah, he's definitely game manager.
But I remember all the talk about Jalen Hurts like a couple years ago.
Right, and but the difference between him and Purdy, he can use his legs to run too.
Yeah, he got a little scramble in him.
And then the other thing is that little tush push that Philly got.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made a living. Like it was like they called their offense knowing that they had that in their back pocket.
Well, you supposed to use your advantages, right?
Correct. So my thing is, now that Kelsey done retired, the center.
Yeah.
You still got that in your playbook? Because Kelsey was arguably the best center in the game.
So it's two Kelseys, isn't it?
Yeah, they brothers. The other one is
the one for the Chiefs, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's still around. He ain't retired, did he?
No, he's still around.
He's still okay.
I think he just signed an extension too. I think
okay, I know. I remember. I didn't remember which one retired.
But yeah, so yeah, they got that going for them. They defense is still pretty good. Like now they still got some things that they need to work out, but they got the pieces there in place. They have they had 2 first-round picks this year, and they committed it both to defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
So they still got Darius Slay over there, and they drafted, in my opinion, the top corner in this draft. And then they and then they got that Cooper DeJean kid from out of Iowa, who's not a corner, but he could be like a safety or something like that, or he can play some nickel situations, but we'll see what happens with it. But they got the players.
Okay.
Not having the players is not the thing with Philly. Mm-hmm. They got the players.
So I had a question about this list.
Okay.
I'm looking at Amari Cooper Cup.
Uh-huh.
And do you think Cooper Cup is better than Amari Cooper? I'm just asking.
So he wasn't last year, in my opinion. That's another one that they could have flipped 2 different directions. But at their peak, Cooper Cup showed that he could be better than Amari Cooper, because Cooper Kupp, he won the Triple Crown, I think it was, where he had the most receptions, the most yards, and the most touchdowns by a receiver in one season.
Man, hold on.
The year that they won the Super Bowl, Cooper Kupp was like going 8.
Yeah, but this is the numbers of last year all the way to the right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
I know. You see it.
So
you see it. You see it.
So,
you see it.
That don't even make sense.
Well, part of the reason is, once again, part of the reason is they factoring in team success into this. For some reason, somehow they.
But if it's production, this should be production based.
Like I said, there's contradictions all over this list. Okay. There's contradictions all over this list. Now, if you can guarantee health, Cooper Kupp is going to be above Amari Cooper. But based on what happened last year, no.
I have very big issues with short receivers, man.
They ain't short.
Cooper Kupp?
No, he ain't short. Cooper Kupp is like 6'1", I think it is.
It's the white dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe he looks short. He was driving me insane when I was watching him. I know that. You know what I'm saying? he looked short though when I was watching him, but you know, whatever.
Okay. But yeah, Amari Cooper, this is going to be his range for the rest of his career, somewhere around here. Because Amari Cooper, he's one of the elite route runners in this game, so he's going to constantly get separation. He's not as fast as he used to be, but the best of Amari Cooper, those days are behind him.
So, but with the quarterbacks he do have over there, right? Because Jameis Winston's back up there. Who's the black dude? What's my man's name? Keep forgetting his name. Deshaun Watson. Yep. Yeah. Now, what do you think? I always thought Deshaun Watson was pretty cold, in my opinion.
He is. He just got blackballed by Houston. Even though he was doing some messed up stuff, he got blackballed by Houston.
I know we all know what was happening, but I don't think whatever he was doing outside of the field that was consensual should have any type of play him playing on the field. That has nothing to do. That's his business and whatever they agreed to doing. I don't know how they even came out like that, but whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
Why did he get blackballed by Houston? Is it because of that?
So what happened is Deshaun Watson's last days of Houston, it was getting to the point where he wanted to leave Houston. And Houston was trying to get him to stay.
Okay.
And he was like sold on leaving Houston.
Did he have a legit reason?
Well, for one, the franchise wasn't doing well. Like, they just traded away DeAndre Hopkins.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, he got traded away to Arizona, and now he's left over here with just Brandon Cooks. And Brandon Cooks, given he's a great slot receiver, but he's not no great edge receiver, like, he needs to have somebody taking attention away from him.
Yeah.
For him to be consistently great game in, game out against no matter what competition. But anyway, so he wanted to leave because he felt like the organization wasn't really trying to win. This was when they had different coaches and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, when this happens, this is when all of this information just comes out now.
Yeah, that situation made no sense if all that stuff was consensual. Right. I have whatever though. But so do you not think that what's the Cleveland Browns offensive line like, first of all?
They solid. They not one of the best, but they not one of the worst neither. Like, they solid.
Okay,
so they solid.
With a healthy Deshaun Watson, with a solid O-line, and you got at least, which Jameis Winston to me is underrated, but that's just my opinion. When you got that, do you think that should help Amari Cooper? Having that, it ain't like he got trash quarterbacks, and you got a solid O-line.
Well, I mean, Amari Cooper is one of those receivers that it kind of really doesn't matter who the quarterback is. He still does to seem to be productive. Now,
but you would agree a better quarterback will help you too, right? That can throw, right?
I mean, better anything would always help.
Yeah.
Better anything would always help. I mean, see, the thing with Deshaun Watson last year, that was like his first year playing with them ever since he got traded from Houston.
Right.
And from what I can remember, he didn't do no OTAs or he didn't participate in training camp. So he was just out there. Like, he played a little bit in the preseason, but like he didn't really get like the same advantages that other quarterbacks and teams get, because those OTAs and training camps, that means a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's where you build chemistry and you learn the offense and you knowing who's supposed to go where. So yeah, when they when he went down and they ended up signing Joe Flacco, that saved them, because Flacco's a vet. Flacco is a better quarterback from the neck up than Deshaun Watson is.
Is he?
He's just not a more skilled quarterback than Deshaun Watson is.
All right.
So,
okay. Yeah. What other anomalies you see on this list?
Let me see here. Based on what they did last year, for the most part, I'm not too upset with most of the players in the area where they at, because they put the numbers to support where they're at. Now we can talk about Tua being at 36, because I don't think he's better than Joe Burrow, but he put up better numbers than Joe Burrow.
But he had a pretty good year.
Yeah, he did. He had
4,624 yards, 29 touchdown passes, selected to the first Pro Bowl. Right. And folks be talking junk about that Tua guy. I'm not a big Dolphins fan, so I don't really.
Well, see, here's the thing. Tua, he benefited the most by Tyreek Hill's presence, not the other way around.
That sounds like a shot.
It is. It is. I mean, look, it's not that Tua.
You're not a big Dolphins fan, are you? Anyway, right?
No, but my pops is a Dolphins fan.
Oh, so y'all argue about this?
No, we don't, because we're not rivals.
Oh,
we not rivals, but Tua. So, me and my pop, we ended up getting tickets to go to the game when they played against Green Bay.
Dolphins?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Tua is one of them quarterbacks that he was making all the bad decisions at the worst moments at that time. This was before Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And he threw an interception to seal the game. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of those things. Tua, he's not one of those guys that's going to make players look better around him. He's one of those guys that he's kind of like a Jalen Hurts. He needs the world perfect around him in order for him to look elite. He needs a perfect world around him in order to look elite. Now, Jalen Hurts is a little bit better than him because Jalen Hurts got mobility. Tua don't.
If you just look at these numbers, a person would think he's elite.
Well, yeah, I mean, because how much of them numbers is going to Tyreek Hill? You know what I'm saying? Because Tyreek Hill, he made a life-changing difference for him. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about the Dolphins is they had all that speed, but they were soft. So
man,
go look at what was going on.
That's what I'm saying. They was calling Tua soft and all that. I remember
because
that. You know what I'm saying?
The Dolphins, they was one of those teams that if they not blowing you out by like 4 touchdowns, they losing.
All right. I mean, I'm not. Hey, I just know that the big knock on Tua, they call him soft, and he don't like that.
Any man is not supposed to like being called soft.
He don't like that.
No man should like that.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, and I'm not saying that Tua is soft. I'm saying that the way the team is built, they not built physical. They built with a whole bunch of guys that are smaller that win track meets. Mm-hmm. So when you put your hands on them and you get to tackle them and you and like if the game becomes a brawl, if they have to win a brawl, they not winning it.
So what would you project their season to be this year?
About the same thing it was last year. They're gonna look really good in the regular season against certain competition. They're gonna put up some high scoring games, but then when it comes time for them to deal with them teams that run the ball well and will run it down their throat, teams that are disciplined defensively that can stop the run, that's when they're gonna look like how they've been looking. Like this, it's like, oh man, well here we go again. Because the thing about the Dolphins is all they receiving weapons and even they running back, they all like run like 4.3s. So they speed demons over there.
Right. That's a problem to deal with.
It is a problem to deal with. But when you can deal with it, discipline to where you're not just giving up everything flying around deep and you sound with your tackling and stuff like that, all of a sudden, because teams like that, they expect one catch to go for 20, 30 yards. But when that one catch is only getting you 3 yards, it's only getting you 4 yards, and you got to nickel and dime your way up the field.
So you're saying to screw with their confidence?
Oh, it definitely can, because then they realize that they got to fight. You know what I'm saying?
So you saying Miami don't got it in their chest like that? That's all you saying?
I'm not saying that they don't got it in their chest. I'm not saying that they not built like that.
Because
players, the players individually, they can have the dog in them, but they just ain't that type of dog. Like, it no matter how much a Chihuahua barks and has a loud mouth. It don't matter how much a Chihuahua barks and has a loud mouth. When he comes across a pit bull that don't bark too much and they have to fight, Chihuahua's losing.
Exactly.
So, I mean, he had heart. He had heart because he barked. Miami's
a bunch of Chihuahuas, all right? Everybody. The Dolphins. This is a Jacksonville fan too, by the way.
Listen, look. I'm not saying nothing that people did not see evidence of. Okay? And look, it's not like they don't have good players. They just aren't built to win brawl. They line up against the Lions. The Lions going to win the line of scrimmage.
I love the Lions.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. The Miami Dolphins, they don't win the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
and so when you think about just who's in the conference that they're gonna have to go through, that can cause issues for them. The best team in the conference, the Chiefs, they win the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Chiefs, they cold, man.
Well, and then you got the Baltimore Ravens, who some a whole lot of people feel like the second best team in the conference.
They almost, I mean.
Then you got the people are high on the Houston Texans this year.
So it's not like they just victims of their division.
I mean, no. I mean, when you choose to build your team a certain way, because
it's impossible to have speed and strength at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. It is possible to have speed and strength at the same time. They just don't have it.
Like to find a player that's fast and brutally strong, that's a hard combo to find.
Well, yeah, but they do exist. I mean, and I'm not saying that one player has to be that. You can have a room full of wide receivers, and you got certain guys that are used for certain things.
So put your coaching hat on, Josh. If you was coaching the Dolphins, spoken of how they built, like how would you coach them to success? How would you be able to do that?
How I'm coaching them to success, first thing I'm doing is I'm addressing my offensive line. That's the first thing I'm doing. I'm like, look, we need to win some fights. We need to win some fights. So I'm moving furniture. I'm moving furniture. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we got to be able to stop the run. I know it's nice to have Ramsey back there, and it's nice to have, I think they got Poyer back there. But those guys, they are elite players, but they're not going to give you the elite production when they have to constantly keep helping them come down and make tackles.
Right. Well,
that's not their primary responsibility. That's supposed to be the defensive line with the linebackers.
Right.
That's their primary responsibility. They the ones that's supposed to be stuffing running gaps and stuff like that. Add to the fact that they just lost Christian Wilkinson's in free agency. He went to the Raiders. So one of the big dudes that you did have, he gone.
Right.
So it's not no personal jab against Miami. It's just y'all just ain't built to win the games that matter the most. Now you're gonna blow out the bad teams because you got enough speed that it's gonna be scary for teams that ain't got no kind of answer for it at all.
Right.
Because you got to remember the speed gap in the NFL. When you look at the 40-yard dash, when they had the combines and they'll line up certain players with each other, morph with each other, and then they'll do it, and then they'll see that speed gap is really like only a step or two.
Yeah.
So if your defense can account for that step or two, which is a lot of it is just keeping the safety over the top, and you make them nickel and dime their way up the field, them little scrawny dudes, when they gotta take a lot of hits, and they ain't scrawny in real life, but like in the NFL comparison.
No, I feel you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the NFL world, they don't got a lot of meat on their bones like that to where they can take hits from 230-pound linebackers.
Right.
Or 250, 300 plus defensive linemen that can move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they get hit one time with them, they gonna get up limping. Next thing you know, sprained ankle, muscle strain, stuff like that. They ain't gonna be able to finish the game.
And I just want to see where you was at with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey.
So,
you know.
Hey, that's just been the case with them.
Do you have any issue with Jordan Love's spot? Number 34.
Not really. I mean, once again, this is another guy that's not better than Joe Burrow to me. But Joe Burrow, he had an unhealthy year last year. He had messed up something in training camp, and he tried to play through it for like the first 6 games or something like that, and he couldn't do it, and he ended up getting shut down for like the rest of the season.
Did he go against doctor's orders, or they just said go ahead?
I don't know if it was against doctor's orders. I think it was just one of those things where he was just trying to tough it out and trying to play through it, and you know, it was just one of those things because people don't understand. A lot of the quarterback position has a lot to do with your foundation. You know, you got to be able to plant your legs and your footwork properly to get the right strength on the ball, velocity on the ball, and things of that nature. So when you mess with a quarterback's foundation, depending on what it is, that can make that quarterback look night and day different. Yeah. So, but once again, like for him, you can't hate on him though, because this is a quarterback that paid his dues. Yeah, sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 4 years.
I was about to say like 4 years.
Sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 4 years.
And he had an issue with that, didn't he? Aaron Rodgers? Wasn't he? He was getting.
Well, I don't think Aaron Rodgers had an issue with him at the time when they drafted Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers was like, we need weapons, or we need defense. We need something that's going to help contribute to us winning right now.
Would you would have done that if you was Green Bay?
Draft a quarterback when I got one? No. At least not that high, because he was the first round. He was first round. At that time, Green Bay needed another weapon to throw the ball to, and they didn't do it. They, like, when you do that kind of move, that tells a vet like Aaron Rodgers that you planning for the future.
I mean, that's clearly what they was doing.
Right.
I mean, that's obvious, but.
So I can't be mad at Aaron Rodgers for feeling like they wasting his talents trying to plan for the future when Aaron Rodgers trying to win right now, and the only player that he got to throw the ball to was Devontae Adams.
Now, did he resign within that period? Within that 4 years?
No, not after that. No, not after that. He didn't resign with them after that.
Have you ever played with a cold receiver like that?
Who?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he played with a number of cold receivers. that's the Super Bowl year that they had. He had Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. I think Randall Cobb was there.
Oh yeah, that was back in what, 09?
Was it 09? No, it wasn't 09. It was like what year was that? Because that was what Pittsburgh was in there. Pittsburgh made the Super Bowl. Clay Matthews was on that squad.
No, it wasn't 09. I'm tripping. I'm thinking of somebody
I
else.
forget what year it was, but that was the year.
But this is the thing. Didn't he play behind Brett Favre though?
Well, that's what they did with him. They doing the same thing. Well, they did the same thing with Jordan Love.
So wouldn't he understand?
Brett Favre for 4 years.
Wouldn't he understand the process, especially if you're getting older?
Well, I bet that he would understand the process, but the whole issue is, at that point in time, Green Bay was still looked at as a potential Super Bowl contender. The only thing that they was missing was wide receiver, weapons, and things of that nature.
I'm not going to lie to you about my disdain for Green Bay. I hate Green Bay. I hate
know,
Chicago. I hate Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand none of them. You know what I mean? Like,
those are y'all division rivals.
But, like, he should have knew that was coming down the pipeline at some point, especially with it.
Well, see, that's where he started to use his voice, because one of the things that he said in his press conference, I remember it like it was yesterday. He was like, yeah, other elite quarterbacks, they get a say in certain things, and I want my say, pretty much, to a degree. That's what he said.
So he didn't have the influence like a Tom Brady would have had as far as roster moves. Well, he didn't. From what I understand, he didn't really. Bill Belichick really was
to a degree, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't really.
To a degree.
So you mean to tell me if Aaron Rodgers was like, yo, I want this receiver over here, they wouldn't try to go get him?
They didn't try to go get him. Matter of fact, some of the same receivers that he won with, they wasn't doing them right, and they was letting them go. So from the outside looking in, obviously we don't know all the facts of that situation, but when those things come out, you can understand why a player would feel the way he feels. Because
so let me ask you this, not to even be off base with it, but speaking of Aaron Rodgers, right? So I'm looking at Jordan Love. So Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Jordan Love. Who you think at the end of the day going to have the better Green Bay Packer career? This is all said and done.
I mean, me personally, we can't say nothing with Aaron with Jordan Love, because
what you think his ceiling is?
I don't think he can be much better than what he was this year, which is really good. But not saying that he won't, but you talking about Hall of Fame quarterbacks here that you compare.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that he's going to be Hall of Fame. I can't say, because the issue with him is he's playing in an era right now where you got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, it's like there's a whole lot of other bigger names that he's not in that tier with right now.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a name out to you, right? He retired early. You know who it is. Is he better than Andrew Luck?
No. Andrew Luck at his best, no. No, not at all. No.
Because a lot of people talked about Andrew Luck like, yo, this guy here, but he retired because he took all them hits.
Yeah, he was, and that is a prime example of, yeah, Andrew Luck was a dope quarterback, but he never had an offensive line. They didn't start to invest into the offensive line until he was gone. Kind of like how the Detroit Lions did Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I know. Man, Matt Stafford, man. I know.
Yeah.
We never had an O-line really. We just started getting one. Like we notoriously always been bad at O-line.
Right,
you know
right.
saying?
When they got the general manager that they got, I remember seeing this dude. He was lit, excited when they drafted Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Like he was like yelling out of excitement and stuff like that. So you know.
I mean, look, I just, yeah. I mean, I was worried because they speak so highly of Jordan Love. So you know,
he deserves it. He deserves to be spoken highly of.
Yes, but
he balled out, and he doesn't have no elite weapon on his team.
Mm-hmm. But you don't know if he in Hall of Fame with like bar no injuries. When I speak of this, if no injuries, even though injuries happen, I'm just saying like his skill set. Do you think he will be up there with the great Green Bay Packer quarterbacks when it's all said and done?
No, because when you think about them other two, first of all, Brett Favre had a cannon for an arm. Brett Favre, he used to break his wide receivers' fingers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And Aaron Rodgers, he has a cannon in his own right, and he's mobile. And he used his mobility. And he won MVP. So I'm not sure if Jordan Love is going to reach that yet. Like, I don't like to say what players are going to do when they still young and because they got a long career ahead of them, but I'm pulling for him. I mean, he's good.
Mm-hmm. Who's better out the two, Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre?
I think Aaron Rodgers is better than Brett Favre. The reason why I say that, Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions, like a lot.
You said you can deal with that though.
No, I don't. I don't like turning the ball over at all. I don't want nobody that's going to get now. Given Brett Favre, when he played, he won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of 09. I think he won in 09.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
That wasn't 09?
No, because in 09, that was when they was having that Favre watch and all that stuff in the off season.
What year was it?
And he went to go play for the Jets. I think it was that year.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. I don't know why I keep thinking of 09.
He played for the Jets, and then he went to the Vikings or whatnot. Like, you know, like Brett, he's a respectable quarterback. You obviously seen that he can help a team get to winning. But I'm not a fan of turning the ball over at all. Like, he's a gunslinger. And a gunslinger mentality is, I can fit this ball into any small window. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of interceptions come with that. So you wouldn't say, for instance, you need a quarterback, right? That's what you're missing on your team, you, Josh. Uh-huh. And the only options with gunslingers. Would you not go with the gunslinger, or would you rather go with the pocket guy? Well, at the end of the day, you can tame a gunslinger if you coach him that way. Because you can't let him go out there feeling like he can go out there and be not held accountable.
Right.
Like, when you hold players accountable, the expectation is for them to adjust and to improve. Because you can't just be throwing it in the triple coverage just because you feel like you got the cannon to do it. It's like, dog, if he's triple covered, then that means somebody else on the other side of the field is wide open. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Why are you forcing the issue? We don't have to do that. It's first down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Now, if it's fourth and whatever with the game on the line, I'm gonna be less upset about that, because at the end of the day, I'm like, look,
in triple coverage,
depending on who your receiver is, because Matthew Stafford threw in his triple coverage a lot of times because his receiver was Megatron.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So let me go up this list. As y'all see, I'm just ask Josh questions here. You know what I'm saying? Let me break it down.
But yeah. CJ Stroud, that was pretty high for a rookie quarterback.
Where the number he at?
He's at number 20.
Oh, let me look at his numbers real quick. I mean,
I understand though.
Dog.
I completely understand why he's there. The division rival and all. I understand why he there.
4,108 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns. Selected the first Pro Bowl NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, so now this is another thing. We can't get so caught up in 4,000 passing yards anymore because in this
that's low
day and age, in this era of playing, it's designed for high-powered statistical offenses. So you're gonna see. I mean, like, how many quarterbacks we done ran through already? They have 4,000 passing yard seasons. You know what I'm saying? It's not as impressive as it used to be. It's still a good thing, but it's not as impressive as it used to be.
So a rookie, right?
But
23 touchdowns?
Yeah, like he played. It's not just the fact that he threw 23 touchdowns. It was the fact the way he played. Like, that was like really good for him. Because he showed composure. The moment was never too big for him. He had patience in the pocket to wait for his receivers to work their way open, which was pretty good.
So this guy's legit, pretty much.
He showed a legit rookie year. I'll say that. I'm never going to jump over anybody that had one good year. Not in the NFL. Not in the NFL, no. I've seen it too many times where players have one good year, and then the next year you thinking you about to get some of the same thing, and they start looking like a completely different person. Because when you have one good year, think about it. All other 31 teams got 16, 17, 18 games worth of footage of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now we can look at you and be like, okay, so they was doing this with him a lot. We gonna do this. See how he can handle that.
But in football, you rely a lot on your teammates. A whole lot. You very reliant on your teammates.
True.
So,
but the whole thing is, even though you rely on your teammates, you still can play well enough to where you can make it obvious that, okay, his team is letting him down.
Okay, just like how you was talking about with Tua, right?
Uh-huh.
And Tyreek Hill changed his whole.
Uh-huh.
So CJ Stroud.
Uh-huh.
Are you saying that? So, because he need targets to throw it to and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? He need to get blocks for the whole nine.
He was getting a lot of that.
Right. So
getting a lot of that.
Are you saying if
and
that
they
break
just added to it?
So are you saying if that break down a little bit, do you think he'll be able to hold his own and think fast?
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Because CJ Stroud, he at the highest levels, he hasn't played with a weak hand. You know, he came out of Ohio State. Ohio State notoriously has talent.
So he don't know what losing feel like.
He don't know what losing feel like, no.
Ohio State. I didn't even know he came from there. Ugh.
Yeah. yeah, he came out of Ohio State. But,
okay.
you know, I mean, the thing is, they doing right because they added to that. They got Stephon Diggs in there now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Nico Collins over there. And Nico Collins, given in his own right, he didn't have a good year until last year.
Right.
And Tank Dell over there, he was a rookie wide receiver. So they got the young pieces. Now they got the vet in there, Stephon Diggs. We'll see what happens with it. And they traded to get another defensive lineman over there to pair with the other defense that they got going over there. So I mean, I like the coach. I like D'Amico Ryans. I hate that he's wearing a Houston, representation, but it is what it is.
So you will say pretty much that this is gonna be the year to see what he really about, since everybody got the scouts on him, got the scouting tape on him and everything like that. This is gonna be the year to show what's up for real.
This is gonna be the year to show us that you ain't no one trick pony.
Okay, that makes sense.
That
makes sense.
To show us that you ain't no one trick pony.
That makes sense.
So we'll see. We'll see with him. Like, once again, skill wise and everything like that, I'm still not sold on the fact that he's better than the healthy Joe Burrow.
Well, Joe Burrow is nice. Right. But if he was hurt, can you really?
Right.
I mean, if Joe Burrow was injured, he was injured.
Right.
So I mean, I don't think an injury should strike against how cold he was, because he went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Joe Burrow, and he was official.
Yeah.
So it's not
which is part of the reason why he's still on the list.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why he's still on the list. But
are you cool with? Because I know you said this guy right here he don't play the smartest, but he number 12, Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, Josh Allen. I feel like he about to fall down the list. This year he about to fall down the list because Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs benefited him so much, and they lost their top 2 receivers.
Hold on, man. He got running back stats.
Exactly, because that's how they use them. That's how they use them.
15 rushing touchdowns for a quarterback.
That's how they use them. And Josh Allen, he has a big body, so he can probably tolerate more hits, but it still doesn't mean that he should take them.
You see what happened to Cam Newton?
Right. So Josh Allen, the biggest thing I think that's going to hurt him is that he doesn't have his top 2 receivers in the room no more against other teams. And I like that the fact that they drafted Keon Coleman. I want to see what Keon Coleman going to do over there, because obviously Keon Coleman probably is walking in there the best wide receiver in the wide receiver room.
Right.
So we'll see. I know they had a good year out of Khalil Shakur over there. They defense is like completely different, and they just took a blow because they lost their top middle linebacker. They lost him for the season. He just got hurt in the preseason game, I think it was, for the season. He out. Matt Milano.
That sucks when folks get hurt in the preseason, dog.
Right, which is part of the reason why a whole lot of people feel like, they shouldn't be playing in the preseason, but you kind of need the preseason reps because you only gonna learn so much in practice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Josh Allen, before Stephon Diggs, he was not looked at as an elite quarterback. I just put it to you that way. So
I don't hear people talk about him like he's elite like that now. They just say he run too much and get hit too much. That's what I hear when people speak of Josh Allen, like, this dude is not the brightest bulb in the room. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he takes too many hits. But you leaped over something. What up?
After we get done talking about Josh Allen, I'm gonna say this, okay? But
what up?
But anyway, Josh Allen, he takes a lot of hits. He feels like he's big enough and he can take them and all that other stuff. You'll find out the hard way. You're gonna find out the hard way. Like, you're gonna learn that you play a position for a reason.
Right.
And it's not nothing against you being mobile, but you gotta know how not to take certain kind of hits. Like, one of the biggest things that makes Lamar Jackson special, not just the fact that he's a deadly runner when he gets the ball. Lamar Jackson knows how to not take big hits.
That was RG3 issue.
Right.
They said they wanted him to go to baseball camp to learn how to slide.
You see where he at now. He still should be in the league, because Kirk Cousins still in the league. They was in the same draft class.
Yeah.
So,
I'm on. Yeah.
You listen, dog. You're not gonna be able to take all of them hits on a regular basis.
No.
Your body gonna eventually start saying to you, dog. But anyway, one thing that I do have a big problem with on this list, CeeDee Lamb being higher than Justin Jefferson.
Where Justin Jefferson at?
Justin Jefferson is 18.
18. Okay, let's look at these numbers here.
Now, CeeDee Lamb, statistically, he did have a better year.
You said it's off production.
Right, but they both played, and Justin Jefferson meant more to his team than CeeDee Lamb did. I'm gonna just say that. Like, there's no world. I don't think anybody in the world is putting CeeDee Lamb over Justin Jefferson. Because CeeDee Lamb, right now, he's still kind of striking me as a receiver that he has to have a cold, creative kind of offensive coordinator to get him open.
Is that why Jerry Jones stalling him out?
I don't know. I can't say for sure. I don't know. Who knows what goes on in Jerry's mind? Because he clearly doesn't make the best decisions. Let's just say that. He's not dumb. He just doesn't make the smartest decision.
Right.
But yeah. CeeDee Lamb had a great statistical year. He did. But I think anybody that watches football knows that he ain't better than Justin Jefferson.
But you said it wasn't about who's better. It's about the statistical year.
Exactly. So that's the reason why I can't be completely upset about it, because you look at the numbers. He got 700 more yards receiving than he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he has more than double the touchdowns. So
yeah, that's kind of hard to dispute.
Right.
For this past year.
Yeah, for this past year. So I mean, but it just in my mind, I know he ain't better than Justin Jefferson.
Oh yeah, I mean, football is a very tricky sport when it comes to individual talent. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have a mid receiver who got a cold quarterback have a better statistical year than this elite receiver over here.
Right.
Who just has a bad quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now you want to stay on that really quick, or you want to?
No, go ahead.
Now this is probably the biggest controversy for me on this list.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes is number 4.
Talking about the Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes?
The Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes is number 4.
Who what's this, his 3rd Super Bowl?
Yep. And
wasn't that team a little worse than the last time, and they still got there?
A lot worse.
And you have a problem?
I have a big problem with this. Because Patrick Mahomes just showed the whole world he doesn't need elite wide receivers to get this done. He doesn't even need what can be called good wide receivers to get this done. Because when you look at the Chiefs, that wide receiver room, them dudes was dropping passes left and right. Matter of fact, the Detroit Lions benefited off of that. They got a pick 6 off of a pass that hit a wide receiver in the hands.
Yeah.
And he bobbled it in the air, and then I think it was Branch caught it and took that thing all the way to the house.
So are you saying he should be number 1 on the list?
Yeah.
Over Tyreek Hill, who you was just...
Yes, without a doubt.
Who made
because Mahomes showed he can win without Tyreek Hill.
Oh, he did play with Kansas City, didn't he?
Yep.
Sure did.
Yep. And given Tyreek Hill is scary in his own right. But for Mahomes to be number 4 behind Lamar Jackson and Christian McCaffrey?
These... Yeah, I do. He should be number 1. Patrick Mahomes. He should definitely be number 1. But I'm just... I think all these guys got a case to be top 5, though.
I don't think Christian McCaffrey should be top 5.
No? The Madden cover athlete?
I could care less about that. But Christian McCaffrey, he was the best running back probably last year. But with the San Francisco 49ers being as strong as they are with their roster, he's very replaceable here.
So, NFL Offensive Player of the Year award. First team All-Pro.
You get that by
Pro Bowl selection and rushing yards leader.
Let me just say this. The 49ers got to the Super Bowl before without him.
I'm just saying that's what it say here.
You're right.
So,
you're right.
This dude, I mean, at least top 10, right?
Let me ask you this.
What's up?
If you replace him with Saquon Barkley, are those numbers looking similar?
I mean, come on, man.
If
you gonna pick Saquon Barkley?
If you want, I'll
pick the mediocre running back.
All right.
Saquon Cole, the numbers probably be better.
I'll go with a running back that didn't even make the list.
Okay.
You replace him with Nick Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think those numbers look similar?
Yes, they would. Because, yes, they will look similar.
My point is the 49ers roster is so strong.
It's a team game.
Right. But they roster is so strong, and they actually try to get him the ball. That's the other thing.
What's wrong with that? Use your running back.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But you got these other running backs that play on teams that they not trying to get him the ball.
He did okay. Whatever the reason is, he still got the numbers.
Right.
Still had a successful season.
Right.
So I mean,
he still shouldn't be above no.
Is he punished for playing on the cold team? No, he shouldn't be above Mahomes. No,
he shouldn't be above Mahomes.
At least top 10, right? He should be at least top 10, right?
He could be top 10. I have no gripe with that. He could be top 10. Well, we only got one defensive player in the top 5. I have a problem with that.
Myles Garrett?
Yeah. I do have a problem with that.
Well, you said NFL to turn to offensive games, so they're not about to notice that anyway, right?
But
ain't that Ray Lewis issue?
Man, look, whatever it is, you can say Chris Jones.
I was just about to ask you about him. I was just about to ask you.
Chris Jones is more impactful to winning than he is.
20 solo tackles, 10.5 sacks. What does a half sack mean when two people tackle the quarterback?
Yeah, pretty
All
much.
Right.
But the only thing with defensive players, especially with defensive linemen like that, they don't got no statistic for quarterback hurries or quarterback hits or how many times he wrecked the play.
Well, that's the same thing with basketball. They don't count contested shots or, you know what I'm saying, altering certain key points. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. When you look at a guy like Chris Jones, he impacts the game more, and he still gets production. So, I mean, I'll tell you this much: Chris Jones was one of those players that sat out week 1 when they played against Detroit.
We won, man. All right,
you won.
I don't care about the reason. I don't care. We got the W. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. We on that standings. It said W, so it is what it is. I know what happened. I know.
But what I'm saying is, him not being there, they felt that value immediately. Like, you seen that didn't last long. They was like, no, dog, we got to get him back up in here, man. We got to get him back up in here. We can't go through a season like this. We already don't got Tyreek Hill. We can't not deal with him.
Right.
Like we can't not have him too.
Listen, at the Chiefs is still, they won a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, I think, solidified who he is. I don't think Tom Brady could do that.
Not with that squad.
I don't think Tom Brady can do that.
Not with that squad, because Patrick Mahomes, he does a lot of extending the play with his mobility. Whereas I mean, look.
Who's the better quarterback to you?
Between them two?
Yes.
I'm taking Mahomes.
Because I remember them saying since Tom Brady won that Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes would never be able to say he's better than him because he lost to him in the Super Bowl. I remember that being said.
Idiots talking. I could care less about idiots talking, because Tom Brady, once again, you can't name a Super Bowl that he won when he didn't have a top 5, top 10 defense.
Well, I'm saying,
this dude, you can't name one. There is no Super Bowl on his finger that don't exist where his defense wasn't top 5, top 10.
They said, and you said, that the Chiefs was significantly worse
Yes.
And they still won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
So
yes. I stand on that.
I don't think that Tom Brady can do this.
This year's Chiefs team, they roster was not that great. They had a few players, but in comparison to what the Patriots had, because Patriots had teams where they were sending like 12, 13 players to the Pro Bowl. So I don't want to hear it. I mean, like, look, at the end of the day, the only argument that people gonna have for Tom Brady is kind of getting to be like the Jordan thing. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, well he got 6 rings. Well, you know, they just gonna point straight to Tom Brady's ring count.
The difference, if you watch a guy like Jordan and you watch a guy like Tom Brady, I think there's a big difference there. Because you watch Jordan, you see like, yeah, okay, Tom Brady. Look, man, whatever. I don't even want to even, because the thing is, man, like I could look at guys like Steve Young and all these dudes I used to watch back then.
There's
Joe Montana and all them. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Personally,
because
there is a number of quarterbacks I'll take.
Dan Marino and them. Yeah, Dan Marino, man. Like, I mean, it's just, when I look at Tom Brady, I'm just like, dog, you surrounded by a whole lot. Which, I mean, it's a team game, but I mean.
And my biggest thing with him is that when you had an all-time great, some people feel like he could be the number 1 wide receiver ever played.
Moss.
When you had Randy Moss, you didn't win.
Was that his fault?
Who? Tom Brady's?
Yeah. Was that really his fault there? I mean, because I must say the defense was that the Super Bowl where what's the dog name? Eli Manning threw the ball and they got stuck in the face mask. Was that one?
Yeah, that was that Super Bowl. I don't want to hear it because y'all went undefeated in the regular season. Matter of fact, I think one of the last wins that they had was against the Giants that year. So you showed that you can beat them.
That was that year where Moss had juked my mans to get that one hand catch, right?
I think that was the following year.
Oh, that was the following year when that happened? That was crazy.
Yeah,
but, you know.
That was the following year. But you had Randy Moss.
He did go undefeated. They did not lose until the Super Bowl.
That's like the Warriors having the best.
Ain't that the defense fault?
No, not at all. Because at the end of the day, freak catches like that, the defender was in position to make the play. It's just that the wide receiver made a better play. But at the end of the day, the Giants had the recipe to beat them. That's part of the reason why Eli Manning got 2 rings against him.
That's why I don't like, and that's why I don't like that argument when they say, "Oh, Mahomes will never," because no one will say Eli Manning. No one will ever say Eli Manning is better than Tom Brady ever.
No,
but he won twice against them in the Super Bowl.
Right. But people like to make the team sport an individual thing, and I don't care for that.
All right.
So I'm not really with that.
So do you have an issue with Lamar Jackson's spot?
It's above Patrick Mahomes.
I'm just saying, like, okay, so if you swap, would you be comfortable with swapping Patrick Mahomes number 1 and Tyreek Hill number 4?
Yeah, I'll be fine with that.
And Lamar Jackson being number 2, are you cool with that?
I'll be all right with that. I mean, I'll be all right with dropping Lamar Jackson to 3 and putting Tyreek Hill number 2. I just however you want to remix it. You know, however you want to remix it. Patrick Mahomes need to be number 1.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree.
However you remix it. And then Myles Garrett and Chris Jones, you can throw them up in the top 5.
Well, Myles Garrett, he's number 5. I mean, so Christian McCaffrey should be coming down. It's about what? If we go on top 10 here.
I would say Christian McCaffrey.
Would you bump down Max Crosby and put McCaffrey there?
No, I'm not bumping down Max Crosby. No, I'm not bumping down Max Crosby. Max Crosby, he's in that tier of elite pass rushers, like how the TJ Watt is. I would say you can take Travis Kelce. He can fall out the top 10 because this was arguably his worst year that he had.
Okay.
like he was dropping the pass left and right this year. I mean, he was still getting attention because of the whole Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that was annoying, but you know.
But that's the way I see it. Like, you can drop Travis Kelce out. I mean, you could drop Travis Kelce out. Dak Prescott is 16. I mean, that's kind of funny, but you know, I mean, based on what we looking at.
I mean,
yeah, I would say that. I would say you can swap him. You can drop Kelce out of the top 10. He can be like 11. And you can slide Fred Warner in that spot.
Okay. For the Niners.
Yeah.
82 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, 4 interceptions, 11 passes defended. Now, what's that? That's pretty much
that's
what?
When they breakups.
Okay. Oh, so swapping it out. You know what I mean? It's
swapping it out, tipping it, anything.
4 forced fumbles, first team All Pro, selected to 3rd Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, but like, you see the spot that he's sitting at, he just outside the top 10, so it's not like it's terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's about it. But you know, yeah, that's the top 100. I mean, you can always look at it and break it down and make some remixes to it. So
yeah, but any remix you make, Mahomes should be number 1.
Right.
I'm not mad at that.
Right.
What did you feel about Lamar Jackson's year? Because folks was down on Lamar Jackson. They was trying to say that he, you know what I'm saying?
No. See, look, Lamar Jackson had a great year. He had a great year. This was the first year that they was like not leaning on him running so much, even though he still ran a lot. But he had to be a quarterback more this year than he was in the past years, and he was able to do it good. He just doesn't have an elite wide receiver to throw the ball to. He has a really good tight end, but he doesn't have an elite wide receiver to throw the ball to. So,
is he better than Cam Newton to you?
Huh?
Is he better than Cam Newton to you?
Not yet. He hasn't proven that ground yet. Well, at least the best version of him. He hasn't proven that yet. Now, on a more consistent basis, because Cam Newton, he threw a lot of interceptions too. Yeah. So, peak Cam Newton versus peak Lamar, I'm taking peak Cam. Now, if you don't give me peak Cam and you don't give me peak Lamar, but you give me like what's they consistent career like, then that's when I'll be like, okay, you can give me an argument for giving me Lamar Jackson instead.
Before the blackballing, is he better than Colin Kaepernick? I remember Colin Kaepernick was with them Niners. It's cold.
Before the blackballing. That's a tough question. Colin Kaepernick, I think he's, up to this point, he showed that he's a better passer, or he could be a better passer, because he has some good years throwing the ball. And it's not that Lamar hasn't had it, but like, the defense for Lamar Jackson is to keep him in the pocket and make him have to throw the ball to win the game. I'm not sure if you can just do that with Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, he could scramble too, so.
Right, but what I'm saying is, Lamar Jackson's weakness, that's the one thing that's probably going to hold him back until he develops that, because you have to be dangerous with your arm. You can't just expect to win the Super Bowl just running around at the quarterback position. You can't.
So, how about Vic then? Is he better than Vic?
Yeah, he better than Vic, because Vic's biggest problem was he didn't take the quarterback position serious. And Vic, when we talk about not taking dangerous hits, Vic took a lot of dangerous hits. That's why he could never have a back-to-back healthy season.
Right.
He missed a lot of games.
Right.
Whereas you can't say that with Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is there.
Well, I like the year they had because it seemed like folks was eating crow almost with Lamar Jackson last year. Folks ain't really want to say it's like because they was eating crow with him. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like,
so, I mean, but look, Lamar is an elite quarterback, and not saying that he's an elite passer. Not saying that he's an elite passer. He's a good passer, but he's not an elite passer. But he is an elite quarterback. So
would you rather have accuracy or a cannon?
If I
like, you know, short throw accuracy, medium throw accuracy, but can't really throw the deep ball like that.
Oh no, you need to have it all. You got to have it all. Because for you to be considered elite, because you know what's gonna happen. If you can't throw the ball deep at all, the defense is just gonna sit down.
Yeah.
More.
Speaking of, man, I don't even drift. Speaking of that, my college football.
Oh yeah.
I won the championship, right? 4 of my players left that was keys. You know what I'm saying? My quarterback, my receiver, dog. I'm like, all the keys that, you know, they all left. You know what I mean? Oh, went to the NFL draft. No way to unsway these dudes. But my rating went up though overall because my team was only at 84. It went up to 89, 90. But my quarterback is only like a 71, and he can only throw short and medium passes, and he can't scramble.
Well, you can get away with that in college because college isn't like the pros where there's
in NCAA you can get away with that in this with short throws.
Well, I don't know because you don't play on Heisman, so
that don't matter. I still be getting bum rushed.
I play on Heisman, dog,
you know
and like, you know, you only got like a half a second to make a decision. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know. I can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the season to start. I'm gonna have that box by then.
Yeah,
because that app be acting funny style NFL. Y'all app is not good. It's not. Like, you know, that's why I did cancel the subscription, dog.
It might be better in the regular season.
Dog, it don't work. A whole bunch of people complain about it. If you go look at the comments, because it's not expensive. I should have known about that. I should knew better with the price. But you pay $14.99 for the premium. You get everything. Dog, you go to play, it just don't play.
Gotcha.
And you can now, if I was able to download a separate app on the TV or something, then I'm like, okay, cool, I can at least watch it on TV. I'd rather watch the game on TV anyway.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out a way because I want to be able to catch every game in a condensed style so I can cover it.
Okay. Well, okay, so you know that's a pretty good segue because we can walk into this other subject if you got time.
Go ahead.
So, is gaming better nowadays versus back then?
Nah.
What's your reasons?
It's like this, right? Because I game, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just nowadays it's too much. Remember back then? Okay, let me go back then. If you get like a sports game, for instance, back then, you just pop that thing in, there it is. You ain't gotta update it, wait for updates, patches, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not online dependent. You know what I'm saying?
The game is what it is.
Yeah.
And you deal with that for at least 365 days.
Yeah, it is fine. Like, you don't have to, I mean, like, there's some things that's dope about gaming now. You got its pros, like, for instance, I'm able to take the legit games on the handheld with my handheld PC. That's dope. But some of that stuff is still online reliant. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of it is focused just on graphics and not gameplay. Because back then, you can enjoy games and not care about the graphics because the gameplay was dope and it was fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The graphics only take you so far. And there was a lot more care put into them games back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can tell.
Because they had to get it right.
Yeah.
there was no way to patch, fix an issue like it is now, which is part of the reason why I feel like a lot of games done got lazy.
Well, they say this is the worst. Yeah, this is funny you asked that, because they say there's a lot of guys, bloggers, they say this is like the worst gen of gaming, like the PS5 era and all that. It's like, this is, it's not. I think the best time for me was like around PS2 era.
I think PS2, I think that got voted as like the best console ever.
Dog, that era, you had, bruh, it was like the perfect mix, because the games, you could still go back and play some of them games and still be straight. Like, you had a whole bunch of selections of basketball games, whole bunch of selections of football games. You had more features, just like that video you showed me earlier, those Madden games.
So you watched it?
Yeah, I seen that before you sent it. You know what I'm saying? I actually watched that. I meant to send it. You sent it to me, but those features in the Madden games and the NCAA games, dog, you had full-fledged like everything in those games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could play those. You can continuously play those games and they never get boring. Now, I don't care that much about graphics, to be honest.
Tell you right now, dog. When they released the Madden and I played it, like, I was so ready to go back to college football.
Yeah, I was disappointed when I played. That's why I haven't heard ain't no hype about it. You see that game got fully released Friday? You don't hear nothing like at all. It's like quiet crickets.
Yeah, people was like, yeah, dog, we playing college this year.
I told you.
People playing college this year. Somebody said I played it and got my refund and got back on college.
The college plays better. It's more difficult and all, but I mean, all college problem was the features, the creating, the editing. That was the only issue. I mean, the difficulty, but I mean, that's subjective. Some people like it super hard. I don't. Well, see, I want that thing normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up.
My thing is, it can be hard. I just need hard to make sense.
Yeah, like on 2K, I put it on a higher difficulty to where like all my games be literally close. But that's basketball. I like basketball a lot, so I can deal with that. Right. But like, the college is better than Madden, period. Even with the lesser, which is crazy, even with the no editing, you play college and you play the Madden, it's like the college is better. It's not even close.
Right.
It's not close.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I'm
and I think that honestly, they might lose that exclusive license, man.
They need to.
They might lose. NFL might, because they say 2K is interested in working something out. Like, hey,
they need to lose the license. And you know what? When they lose the license, 2K gonna do to Madden what they did to NBA Live.
Yeah, but 2K, like my man said, that didn't got stale.
It has, but for the most part, from a top to bottom video game standpoint, it's still pretty complete.
Oh, 2K, they don't skip you on the modes. Like they got whatever they need for everybody. They just do not promote the franchise part. They only promote my player, bro. They don't even promote the NBA side of the game for real. That's what the problem is, and it's all microtransactions. Like, it's a misunderstanding of what that game is, because if you play my NBA, you don't have to deal with that. But that's not promoted. The thing is, back in the day, you could see like the care in those sports games. If you go back and play an old live game, or you play a dynasty mode, it's fully featured, fleshed out. It's care into the game. You can tell. Remember when everybody was talking about remember when that All-Star Weekend came out? That felt like All-Star Weekend when you played that live with the dunk contest and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That felt like it. They don't even. It don't feel like it now. Even when you play a dunk contest in 2K, it's not like that live dunk contest.
Right.
And you can create your own dunk.
Right. See, and one of the things that I missed the most about gaming back then is that was the time when it was like getting with your homeboys. It meant something different than playing online
all day.
Because it was one of those things where, all right, well, you just bring your memory card over.
Yeah.
Bring your controller over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
you can't do that now. It's all tied to a profile.
Right. And like how do you do that? I mean, look.
You can sign in on, but I wouldn't want to sign in on nobody else's system.
And then my problem with online gameplay is you got the online lag.
Yeah,
that comes with certain games. That's like now that's one thing that EA.
I was about to say EA stuff be feeling pretty on point.
That's one thing that EA does well, but like 2K's lag.
Nah, it's bad. It's like a second. It's like a second. You can't, like, the jump shot is like a second off,
right?
Or a millisecond, whatever it is. It's like it's not exact. It's like a second off, dog.
Right. It makes no sense. It's because this is supposed to be the more advanced technology and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then like you said, they put more care into the game, and that was when we had competition.
Yes, I'm saying, like, because I remember
because you see on that video he put up like all the competition that was out there.
Game day, everybody had their own stuff. Like, I remember back then, there's this game called NBA Inside Drive that was on Xbox. Right. We used to stay at night at my homeboy house on the weekends because we all play on the same team. Inside Drive 03. We used to stay at night at his crib, be in the basement playing, having tournaments in that game.
Right.
Not Live 03, not 2K3, Inside Drive 03. That game was hard too.
We used to do that with NBA Live.
Huh?
We used to do that with NBA Live. With NBA Live, I say 04, 05, 06, and a little bit of 07 on the PS2. We used to do that.
Yeah, man. Like, we coming to the crib.
Yeah, come over to the crib and we get down and we like we would like have kind of like fantasy drafts with our own teams.
Yeah.
So like my thing was it was like it made the friend experience better.
It does. Y'all chilling, y'all order something to eat, kicking it and all that. I mean, the game's just not made the same with the same amount of care and everybody. It's like a total package. It's like with a female or something. You know what I'm saying? A girl can look pretty all day, but if she don't got everything else, like as far as like you can't have a conversation, she's not a good person. That the looks don't matter anymore.
Right. That's
the same thing with games. You know what I'm saying? A game can look cold, but once you start playing it, it's like, man, this ain't the graphics. A lot of games like that where they focus strictly on graphics and presentation, but once you play it, it's hollow. You don't feel it no more.
Throw it away.
Yeah.
Or like how one of the people that I used to know, whenever he got something that he didn't like, he sling that joint out the window.
I mean, for real, it's like that. The games, like, I appreciate, like I said, the PS2 probably was the best for me, especially with sports games. You had so much variety. PS1 and PS1 has some stuff too.
Dog, being able to transport draft classes and stuff like I still can't tell you how upset I am about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That feature alone would have made Madden better for me.
And then what's crazy, what they tell you in the college, they're like, oh yeah, this is the draft results. Why are you showing me that? If I can't put them over to Madden, you actually see the draft results.
Yeah,
like,
but why?
You know what I'm saying?
But why do I care? Why do I care? I can't transfer them over there.
It's on the same. It's on the same engine.
You know why do I care? Why do I care? I could care less about. All you need to tell me, oh, he got drafted. Bam. That's all I need to know.
I'm gonna be real with you. My favorite time playing Madden in college was the PS2 times.
Yeah.
Because the game, like the dynasty mode was out cold to me. You know what I'm saying? Then draft them over to the Madden. You pick whichever one, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause to me, I mean, that 06 was clean. I was looking for it the other day and couldn't find it. The 06. Oh, I was trying to go cop it. I was trying to cop that joint on PS2. Could not get it. I'm at to order it. But yeah, that's one of my favorite ones, the 06.
Well, that's a whole lot of people put that at the top. A whole lot of people put that at the top. But yeah.
Even going back playing them classic basketball, old basketball games on Genesis, a lot of them games, like, you see the care put into those games. You know what I'm saying? Even though some of them is just like, oh my goodness, but you seen the care put into them, and then once you got over to the PlayStation era, those years you can't get back. Like it don't got that same feel no more.
It sure don't, man. Like it is kind of disappointing because it's not one of those things. Like in no way, shape, or form should we have gone backwards.
Yeah, we went backwards. We definitely went back. I mean, because like I said, once again, I must say to y'all, I appreciate being able to take portable stuff to be able to play out like the full-fledged 2K and all. I never like that's dope. But as far as the in-home experience and just buying the game and like, yeah, I bought the game, because you can't even like go to the okay, if I go buy this game, it's not even a game on disc. You have to download the rest of it. So once the online is over with, the game over. And then most of the modes is online only. So once that year is over with, that game is pretty much finished. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't go back to it. But on PS2, you can go pop in Live 05. No issues.
Right.
Everything worked.
And you had a deep franchise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those franchises way. Now I'm gonna say this: 2K did they thing with their franchise mode. I give them their credit. Like 2K and MLB The Show, they upped their franchise mode with the years. Like you couldn't put all the stuff they got and they franchised them old games. The memory wouldn't be to handle it.
Well,
But
see, I almost got MLB The Show. The one thing that stopped me is they don't have online franchise, and that stopped me.
Did.
No, they didn't because me and some of the other homeboys that I got that's big into baseball, we was all like, oh yeah, well we all gonna get it this year. We gonna try to do something.
Oh.
When that came out, we was like, well, there goes that.
Yeah. Now MLB The Show is regarded as, I mean, it is deep. I'm not gonna lie, it's cold. It's whatever 2K is the basketball is what MLB is the baseball. But MLB also has that same issue where no competition, so it's minimal improvements. It's still out cold, but minimal improvements. So I mean, the last game to compete with MLB The Show was MVP baseball or something like that. The college baseball game, because I think San Diego, wherever that company is, they got the exclusive license. But there's neither here nor there. The games just don't feel the same no more. They don't feel They don't feel complete when you buy them.
The deepest that I've gone in any franchise mode was on those PS2 Maddens. I think it was on the PS2 05.
That's the radio station, the one that got the radio station, right?
Yeah, the one that got the radio station with Ray Lewis on the cover.
Yeah, that game was cold. I mean, Madden 05 wasn't bad.
And you know what the dope thing about it was that when you would reach certain successes and stuff like that, coaches would retire, and when you would hire a new coach in, your team schemes would change.
That's hard.
Your team schemes would change. He would bring his schemes in.
But see, that's care of the game, though.
Right.
Even if you look at a game like NFL head coach, right? A lot of people say that that's probably the deepest football game you're going to play.
I mean, because you're not playing the game, you just playing as a coach. So
like,
you're not. So I mean, it would make sense for it to have
like the
like
09, like they like, yo, that's
I had got it. Matter of fact, I need to go ahead and find that so I can get it back again, because they might not ever make that again.
No, they definitely not. But they said that was like that right there. They said that's the most realistic sim engine. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's no difficulty level, so it's really like it's what it is. You know what I mean? And it's hard to really build. You got to really know what you're doing with that. You got to be for real locked in, messing with that. So
yeah, so
you know.
I'm gonna have to find that and get that. Whenever I can find that again, I'm gonna get that. Now 2K5s, that joint right there, man, that's still the most beautiful football game ever.
Everybody say it.
That's the most beautiful football game ever. The only game that can come close to it from a gameplay perspective is 2K8. But because 2K8 ain't had no franchise or anything like that, that's where they fall back.
Yeah, I don't know what the thought process was behind that, but I don't know if it's because they was using just with the legends. But I'm like, y'all could just have generic players in the draft. I mean, I don't.
You can have generic players, generic teams, generic everything.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand why maybe they didn't have enough time to do it, because I'm gonna say this: 2K don't be half stepping with their franchise modes. They don't make them. No, they now, if anything 2K do, they make sure their franchise mode is on point. Some people complain that it's too in depth. You know what I'm saying? That's why they had to lighten it up. Like they actually got on 2K24, they actually got my NBA Lite mode. So you know, because it's too much stuff you got to do in the franchise mode. Me, I like it. I like hiring my staff.
You used to be able to do that on, well, to a degree, you used to be able to do that in Madden, because Madden had it where you would control the prices of tickets and hot dogs and stuff like that. Like you was micromanaging the business side of it, merchandise and things of that nature.
Which year was that?
Huh?
That was PS2 Madden, wasn't it?
PS2, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing that was good about this Madden that I didn't really notice in the PS2 ones is that you can upgrade your stadium.
And this 25?
20 to 24 you was able to do it, and in 25 you can do it, and you can relocate to a different city.
Yeah, they've been having that. They'll relocate, yeah.
But my only issue is with the creative team aspect of part of it. They only gave you like limited teams with limited designs and stuff like that.
So a team builder?
Well, this year is team builder, but last year it was just what they gave you.
They all them games be doing that when it comes to create a team that's in the game with them whack designs and stuff. I can't stand those whack designs. That's why I don't make no team in 2K. But you can actually upload your own stuff in 2K though.
Yeah, but there's enough like out cold people that upload their stuff.
Yeah, they cold with it.
That you can just be like, oh, okay, because you know, like how we were saying, you can expand the league. You can put so many more teams in the NBA, and you can just take 6 or whatever, how many of the coldest looks.
Yeah. I forgot which year it was on 2K. I think it was either, it might have been 18 or 19. Somebody was making NFL teams.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I seen that.
Dog. Somebody
I'm
made
not the
Detroit
biggest fan of that.
Somebody made Detroit Lions, dog. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of hard.
I'm not the biggest fan of that, because I like to keep keep football with football and then do basketball. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the biggest fan of that. But they did look cold though. Like like I had created a team and I seen somebody made the Jaguars and they had the jersey with the Jaguar logo, and I was like, all right, yeah. But like at the end of the day, I was like, I'd rather you not try to mix them two worlds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's just my personal perspective.
No, I mean, I feel you. I mean, it was just hard looking. The game's not to say like. For me going through these games, I'm seeing that too. Playing them old games and then because I'm going up, I'm like, man, they don't put the care at all. Like, because the games are good. Like, it's just they don't have. It's all about. I think I'm gonna tell you the downfall. I think when they start introducing DLC, that really messed some things up too. Downloaded content. You know what I'm saying? Because if you buy a fighting game back in the day, you got all the fighters. Now, when you buy a fighting game, you got to base them out. Now you got to buy. You know what I'm
I have nothing. I have no issue with you having to unlock.
Certain unlocking is fine, but to have to buy.
Yeah, that's the microtransaction stuff is kind of crazy.
Because back in the day, honestly, unlockable content was fun to unlock.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, even in sports games, you had certain hidden things and all that. You got to do this to unlock. Because Live had that. See, Live was the first game to actually, it was Live 2000. It could be some games beforehand, but to my knowledge, Live 2000 was the first game to where you have to do certain milestones to unlock legends and put them in the free agent pool.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and that's another thing that Madden has yet to do. Madden has yet to have the old school players in there.
Didn't they do that with Madden 13 and that connected franchise where folks was coming out of retirement and all that?
Well, I mean, they have it for the online MUT leagues where people pay for stuff. Mm-hmm. People was playing with Deion Sanders at defensive back and stuff like that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, I want you know how 2K got the rosters where you can have the older players in there and you can do a fancy whatever or franchise with them.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I would think it'd be easier for football to even do something like that anyway, because the likeness is not that. You don't really see them that much with their helmet off.
Right.
So would you be cool with them having
Well, no, you still need to make them look right.
No, of course, yeah. But I'm just saying, you'd be cool with them having like how 2K got the years, right? Where you start, okay, this year, 1992 or whatever the case is. You cool with something like that?
Most definitely. Just like how I prefer playing in the 2000s for the 2K my eras.
Yeah.
I would prefer that for the NFL. Because once again, going back to what we were saying, back to when football was real football to a degree. Now, I'm not saying that I got anything against looking out for players' health or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But when each position had its proper values, you know what I'm saying? The fullback position still existed.
Yeah.
You still kind of had to address that if you wanted to be able to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Or going across the middle was still dangerous because you had linebackers that was
Could you imagine if
right.
2K had the dog? All the stuff they doing with NBA?
I mean, well, think about it. Think about it. I mean, you a Lions guy. If 2K make a football game and they have an old school roster and you can play with Barry?
I'm going straight to that 1990. I'm trying to think what year it is. It's 93 with Herman Moore, Brett Perriman, Johnny Morton, Barry Sanders. Right. I'm just going to try to fix that O-line. My offense straight. I just need that O-line fix. Not a fan of Scott Mitchell, but I'm cool with Rodney Peete now.
Right.
I like Rodney Peete.
Right.
What do you think of Rodney Peete?
I mean, he was good. He was good. See, me, I'm going to take them Jaguars, that Thunder and Lightning Jaguars with Mark Brunell and Keenan McCardell, Jimmy Smith, and then the young Fred Taylor.
Mm-hmm. When they get in the league? 96? 97?
Their first year was 95.
95?
Yeah, 95. And we came out busting heads, too. we came out busting heads. We had got Tom Coughlin as head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He instilled them old school values, and he's one of them old school people that will probably cross the line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He will cross the line. And, he valued being tough up front.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I take
that team and I win. Now, I did do that with the 2K5. I did go pretty deep with the Jaguars there, and I won me. Everything was better about 2K, bro.
Oh, 2K5 was because what was crazy about 2K, and this is PS2 and Xbox, y'all. They will give you season highlights when you win the Super Bowl through the season. I know I ain't tripping, because when you win the Super Bowl, you show them run through a locker room and all that stuff. Then they show your season highlights. I'm like, that's crazy. They don't have nothing like that in Madden. It's 2024 now.
It's ridiculous.
Gaming was better back then. You know what I'm saying?
Gaming was better. The games was better back then. Everything.
That's why.
The only good thing that comes from online gameplay at all is the fact that you can be playing with people in different states that you may know.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean,
that's the only thing.
There's pros and cons to it. I mean, the pros is if everybody live, life happens, so if everybody live far away, y'all can link up and do some things. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do that back then, but you still also can't defeat the in-house aspect. of
no,
it.
the
You know what I'm
in-house
saying?
aspect was so much more was meant to life back then.
Yeah, folks arguing over controllers and what controller to use. Because I already know back then, folks always had the bootleg controller
Think
for
about
the
it.
certain houses.
Think about
This
it.
the home controller. That's the away controller. Did you ever deal with that?
A little bit.
You know?
But you know what? The funny thing is when you think about all the classic games, I think they all back there.
They are.
They're all back there. Like football is back there, basketball is back there. Even when it comes to these like first person shooter games or whatnot, is there any game on the market that's better than that 007 GoldenEye?
No, people always go back to that. But see, that was also one of them games where we used to get from school. From school, we all go play GoldenEye. And then the rule is you cannot pick Odd Job, the short guy. You know what I'm saying? No, that's the rule. You know what I'm saying? You can't pick the short dude because you can't. You got to go. You know what I mean? Like, GoldenEye was official.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now it's turned to a business. So, you can't play playing Call of Duty isn't exactly fun anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I don't know. I don't.
You know, I don't. You know, but the thing is,
basketball.
You know, GoldenEye was a staple,
right,
in folks' childhood. That's why they mentioned it. Right. You know, ain't nothing like that 4-man screen, everybody at the crib, and you know, whoever's losing the worst got to pass it up. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. There's nothing like passing up the sticks. You got to pass the sticks, dog. You know what I'm saying?
That stuff hurt.
You got to pass it. You know what I'm saying?
You be hurting. You be hurting when you be like, man.
You got to pass it up. You got to pass it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we used to do in basketball. You got to pass it up. Pass the sticks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, straight like that.
You lost, bro.
Folks be heated. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, man, hurting. That's a pride bust right there, especially with all your friends watching around. They egging it on.
Because you know that's going to be the subject the next day.
Live on 3, me and my homeboy kind of got into it. We ain't getting to it for real, but he was mad at me, right? Because we all had a game. We had games on Sunday. So we stayed the night in my homeboy house. We was playing Live 03, the Jason Kidd one.
Right.
And I was losing by 15.
Might I add, that was the one that had, what was that? That was the last of the official rosters being rated properly?
Live 03, yeah. Live 03, because the 04 was crazy. But Live 03, I was down by like 15. I can never forget this. And we had John Barry in there for the Pistons, right? So he beating me. He had the Lakers. Man, I started raining them threes with John Barry. He was hot. And then, you know, in Live 03, you block the shot. That joint go flying all the way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pinning his stuff, and I'm going up, pulling up threes. Wow. Man, I won that game. He was mad at the mug. And then, you know, your friends started gassing it. Oh, you letting them do that with John Barry? Don't you got Kobe? Oh, man, what happened? Man, that was crazy. He was mad in the mug that day. He almost went. We was at his house. He probably wanted me to leave. I bet you he probably wanted me to be like, man, you can go home. You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is. Hey man, look, I had a crazy move that was kind of unstoppable a little bit. Because I think it was Live 05. Allen Iverson. If you just sat underneath the rim and you did a layup, it was unblockable.
Well, AI?
Yeah, with AI. I don't know why. It was unblockable. Like I abused it a little bit. So I can understand why people get frustrated with people online when they like find like a glitch and they just like, because I hate that crap. But like when I seen how you can really milk something that is trash,
yeah,
it took the enjoyment out of it a little bit for me, just because I was like, this doesn't feel like real basketball. But at the same time, what you did didn't feel like real basketball neither. So
right. They gonna abuse it on you. They abuse stuff on you, man. Like, man, I played football with somebody who kept doing an onside kick. Bruh. I was hot.
You do it one more time.
Because there was no way there was something you can do to where you can onside kick it, and no matter what, you're gonna catch it. No matter what. No matter how you try to stop it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what year that game was, but he would just do an onside kick every time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, fam, stop.
It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous the things that you can do and get away with.
But
it's gaming, so
yeah, but gaming was better back then. But
much better.
I gotta get ready to go to work or get ready for work. I got training I gotta do. So
yeah, man.
We're gonna conclude this. I'm gonna have this up probably. I might have it up it's gonna be up tomorrow for sure.
Got you.
It's gonna be up tomorrow for sure. But no, it's a good episode.
All right, then.
About to go ahead, eat, and then get ready to go train and all that. Cause I gotta go early tomorrow, man.
Let's do
it. All right, so we'll talk when we get back together. Do another show. All right.
It might not be. It might be another minute.
Well, I know you got your stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got
going on this weekend too. So we missing 2 weekends, which is cool. But
if we get in somewhere between that, we can. No big deal. You know what I'm saying? Just us alone. I mean, it don't really matter. But right. I know you got stuff going on, but it's all right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I keep it flowing. So no big deal.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the content. We gone. Peace. Yep.
Welcome to F&S Network. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the content. Can I rap real quick? Can I rap? On the path to being the best power in the airwaves, jingling the way we break it down the game. Wide body on the highway, we not in one lane, no nonsense. Logic with every topic. The talk too real, the party we not invited. Want the truth? F&S subscribe to it. The death shows, just play and ride to it. The voice is more important than the image. Feel every word spoken. No need for camera tricks. We on the grind, freeze corner with Jay sideline. DBP next in line. Though gotta feel he can know when you're fired. We in it for the long haul. The fatigue's off. We don't get tired. Nah, we don't get tired.